Hi guys, it's BB and we are going to be playing Kindred Spirits on the roof. It's a yuri game, and like a lot of yuri games, or well yuri in general, it's set in a high school of course, and we are going to be helping two lesbian ghosts get couples in the school together. Sounds like fun, so let's get started. And this is going to be, what, my third time trying to record this, so I'm a bit tired right now. Another beautiful day. After the end of the holidays, the air up on the roof had really started to feel like summer. The sun was high in the sky, almost annoying how vigorously it shined. I was already finding my vest stuffy, even though we'd only just changed into our spring uniforms. But we were above the town and I was on the roof. Up here, the breeze was cool and comfortable. I finished off the soup in my little thermos and sighed, relieved that I had been correct to pack a warm meal for lunch. My hands habitually moved to clean up the rest of my food. I closed the lid on my small, two-tiered lunchbox and wrapped it up in a scarf on my lap. Gathering the bundle, I set my items down on the bench next to me. Then I stood. Phew! I, Toomi Yuna, propped my elbows against the roof fence, and sighed as I always did, sighed as if my lunch had perfectly filled my stomach and pushed out my breath. I was careful not to lean too far. The students who came up on the roof are asked not to rest against the fence, but the barrier, only a metre high, tempts you to relax on it and look out over the scenery. The bottom half of my view was a townscape, the top half a shining blue sky. At my eye level, there were mountains surrounding the area, silhouettes on the horizon. I could clearly see the summits of the mountains, their peaks sharp against the cloudless sky. The weather really was nice. I could hear the voices of the other students on the roof from behind me, though their words were lost amidst the sounds of lunch. If they were speaking, it meant they came up here with someone. The roof seemed more popular than usual today. The first years who had started school a month ago were probably getting used to things by now. They probably noticed that the roof was a perfect place to eat on days with nice weather like today. I had thought the population up here would rise quickly, but that hadn't proved true. Maybe because we'd just been on break. They were probably in their classrooms with friends, discussing all they'd done over the holidays. Strangely, it seems to be mostly single people or groups of two who come up on the roof. There aren't many groups of 3 or more. Maybe with larger groups, it's just more likely that one person won't want to eat lunch up here. Maybe it's just too much trouble to climb all the way up when you have too many with you. As for groups of 2, well, I get that. It sort of feels like a picnic when you eat up here on the roof. I imagine it starts when one of them asks and the other thinks it sounds like fun and goes along. The people who came to the roof alone may have friends who just happen to be absent today. Either that, or they don't like eating alone in their classrooms, like me. Like me, anxious in the classroom, too many people there, friends, classmates, people who would talk to you, and all of the prying eyes. There's just too much going on there. That's why I came to the roof during lunch. I come to a place that has few people as possible, and after eating I look out at the scenery. I wonder if the burdock root was a little too salty. I muttered quietly to myself. I thought Hina would enjoy it after morning practice, at least. She'll probably work up a sweat again today. I didn't put that much burdock in it, so I doubt she minded. Well, it's not like she usually leaves much anyway. The weather really is nice today. The sunlight's really pouring down. It was a good idea to wear sunscreen today. I should make sure Hina protects her skin too. She never gives that sort of thing any thought. Oh, maybe that's why there aren't too many people up here today. Whatever trifling thoughts passed through my mind, I thought about all sorts of things as I stared absent-mindedly at the view. Thought? No, they were just coming to mind, really. And it always ends with this line from an old classic. The phrase always pops into my head, and as a habit, I always bring my attention back from the scenery when it does. I feel like an old lady, although Sono-sensei, the literature teacher, would probably object to that idea. This time I leaned with my back against the fence. This was also forbidden by the teachers, but no one paid that rule any mind. If they're really that afraid of accidents, they would build a taller fence. But their warnings probably aren't without reason, and I didn't need to deliberately ignore them. I picked myself up off the fence and sat back down on the bench I had been using earlier. My hands found their way to my pockets. One of my fingertips ran across the small package, reminding me to take it out. It was something Anno had given me, as I'd left the classroom. She laughed, calling it a highly recommended new product. I looked it over and found the packaging. Brown sugar lotus root lozenge. Well, she did say it was tasty. The fact that there was more to it than taste is just like Anno, I suppose. I would understand if it was supposed to be flavoured with the fragrance of lotus, but why put lotus root in it? And a lozenge? I haven't heard anything about lotus root being good for the throat. Well, it's probably sweet at least. I took it out of the wrapping to find it was an inky black. Rolling it around in my hand for a moment, I tossed it into my mouth. You fool! What drives you to such lengths? Huh? I almost swallowed the thing, I was so surprised by the voices suddenly at my ear. What are you thinking, taking poison on such a nice sunny day? You mustn't hurry to your death, surely you have things to look forward to. What? What? I heard voices from behind me. Who were they? I could hear two of them. When did they get back there? Something awful must have happened to you, but you can't just toss aside your life like that. What sort of awful thing happened to you, I wonder, to make you swallow such a dark black poison? No, seriously, what? Poison? What I just swallowed? No, wait a second. Poison? It must be a terrible way to go, feeling sick but unable to cough up the toxin. If you have troubles, I'll gladly listen to them. And if that eases your burden at all, please rethink this. Then your body starts to go numb, you fall to the floor, and everything goes dark before your eyes. What are you worried about? Is it love? It must be. You've fallen in love with some girl, haven't you? It must be so painful, not knowing what to do. No, this is just I said, turning around. D. I lost my words. Because there were two girls standing behind me when I turned around. It's just a candy, not a poison. We know that's silly. We're sorry. It looks like you were more surprised than we expected. Two girls wearing uniforms I didn't recognize. No, one looked more like a woman than a girl. Oh, we were just teasing you. I mean, that black candy looked just like poison, don't you think? It really was pitch black. Is that sort of thing popular lately? I seem to see it a lot nowadays. What flavour is it? It's sweet, but it's got brown sugar in it, so it's a light flavour. The lotus root isn't very bitter. What exactly was I answering for? Brown sugar comes from sugarcane, right? Ah, it must taste like kurumitsu. There's lotus root in it? How peculiar. One was a bit of an uncouth girl, in a white sailor uniform, who looked about my age. Her hair was light brown, although it didn't look dyed. There are a lot of strange combinations like these. It's what makes new flavours stand out, I guess. The other one wore a typical sailor uniform, with hair long and as black as her clothes. She looked even more grown up than a third-year upperclassman. Would you mind sharing one? Just kidding, it's not like we could taste it. What is it, Sachi-san? what's going on. They've suddenly gone quiet. It was only one piece, so I couldn't have split it anyway. No, that's not it. Why are they suddenly staring at me? They were just laughing a second ago. They were laughing before my eyes. Before my eyes. Right before my eyes. You... Huh? Yeah? Before my eyes was... Can see us. Yes? I had the bench to my back, so when I turned around, I could have seen nothing but the fence at the edge of the roof. Our voices, you can hear our voices. Yeah? The two of them were standing there. Sachi-san! Yes, Megumi. There's someone who can hear our voices. There's someone who can see us. Yes. In the tiny space between the bench and the fence? No. That space wasn't wide enough for anyone to stand there. Hey, could it be... Yes, it is. We've finally done it. Yay! I don't know why, but I feel like I can somehow see the fence through the happy pair. Hey, you! You hear our voices, don't you? Then... The roof of the 3-story Hoshikin building. They're on the edge of the roof, 10 meters from the ground, without fear, not even touching the fence. We have... Standing there, almost as if they've been floating in air. They're... A favor. Faintly transparent, I can see the mountains through them. I can see them. We'd like to ask. Ah! I desperately howled down the scream that threatened to escape my lips. I grabbed my lunch bag and took off running towards the door. To the stairs. Of you. Wait! Where are you going? Where? I'm running away from here, of course. Oh, Yuna, welcome back. Ano Fuji called out to me as I entered the classroom and headed back to my seat. She's a friend I made after starting school here, and, not counting Hina, one of the few I can be myself with. Ano always greets me when I return to class. She's friendly, but not so friendly that she pesters me about eating alone. She has some bad habits, but I find them a little endearing actually. You took your time today, huh? Were you napping? Yeah, I might have. Yes, that's right. I must have dozed off and had a weird dream. Whoa, Yuna. You're like sweating buckets. Were you rushing to get back? There's still a bit of time, you know. Wait, what's wrong? You're white as a sheet, Yuna. Huh? White as a sheet? Am I noticeably? Did something happen on the roof? Huh? Oh, no. What should I do? Should I tell her the weird dream? I dozed off and dreamt I met some ghosts, but she might be creeped out if I said that. I might prefer if both of us could be creeped out together, though, no, Anna might just laugh it off. She's carefree like that. I just had a bit of a weird... But before I could say dream, the bell signaling the beginning of afternoon classes rang. The bell? Already? When did that happen? No, it's nothing. Hurry back to your seat, Anno. Okay, Yuna. Go to the nurse's office if you start feeling bad, okay? I'm fine. With an unconvincing chuckle, I waved Anno off and she sat back at her seat. Our first afternoon class began. Somehow I composed myself, possibly thanks to Anno's encouragement, and was able to focus on class a little. The teacher's words weren't quite getting through to me, but at least I was able to copy down the words on the blackboard. My mind wandered as my hand took notes. The only conclusion is that it was a dream. It's not if I can say absolutely certainly that ghosts don't exist, but I couldn't possibly have seen some myself. That's why it must have been a dream. I must have dozed off. I was just confused and woke up and took off running. I'm glad I didn't tell Anno. If I'd gone on like that, I probably wouldn't have been able to pretend it was just a dream. No, it was a dream, so I wouldn't have had to pretend anything. Oh, whatever. I should concentrate on class. I looked back at the blackboard, and at that moment I heard, "Found you," a faint voice next to my ear. Red letters had appeared on the blackboard. Eek! The teacher hadn't written them. I mean, they weren't her neat handwriting. They were round, girlish letters, and not in chalk but white, but a vibrant red, dripping from the edges like wet paint. I heard a clattering sound in my head. Oh, that's my teeth. And while the noise shook me... "So, you're in this class?" The words were rewritten. With no eraser in sight, they faded gradually and new words rose to take their place. Eek! I finally screamed and jolted hard enough for my seat to make noise. Huh? Who was that? Toomi-san, what is it? The teacher who had been writing on the blackboard turned around and stared at me. I was already halfway out of my seat. Did I get something wrong? Sensei, that... What is it? The teacher turned back to the blackboard. She tilted her head and looked at the area I was pointing at. She was looking, wasn't she? Couldn't she... Hadn't anyone else noticed? Nothing's wrong, is it? The teacher, everyone around me, no one had noticed, even though the words loomed on the blackboard. Bright red words, as if they'd been written in blood. That was when I realized I was the only one who could see them. Do you have a question about something? I desperately turned the cogs in my mind. I had no idea what to do anymore. On the other hand, the fact that only I could see the words was just a tiny bit comforting. It meant that I was the only one who was crazy here. I'm sorry, a bug or something flew by in front of my face and it scared me. Huh? Oh, is that what happened? I understand that you were surprised, but please try to keep your voice down, alright? Yes, I'm sorry. I sunk back into my chair as the room filled with quiet giggles. Normally my face would be turning crimson with embarrassment, but I was too preoccupied to care. Hey Yuna, you okay? Anno turned from her seat diagonally in front of me. She hadn't laughed at my sudden outburst. Instead, her face and voice contained genuine concern. Yeah. What a stupid thing to do. I tried feebly to laugh it off again, insisting that there were words on the blackboard that only I could see would only make people laugh at me or think I was crazy. Are you feeling okay? Want to go to the nurse's office? I'll come with. I'm fine. I was just a little surprised. If you say so. Really, I'm fine, thank you. I was a little relieved when Anno turned back around. I looked back to the blackboard as well, hoping that what I had seen had just been a hallucination. But... Come to the roof after school, Kay? It wasn't, and now new words had appeared on the blackboard. I wasn't as alarmed as I had been the first time, and although it was still creepy, the letters were a little bit too cute to really be scary. I don't know, they're kind of yandere to me. Do they have to drip like that though? If you don't, I'll curse you. What exactly are they planning to do? When the bell signalling the end of 6th period rang, I sighed and put my head in my hands, my elbows resting on my desk. It was a wretched final 2 periods after lunch. The mysterious blood writing continued popping up endlessly the whole time. On the blackboard, and in the end it even showed up in my notebook too. The only reason I wasn't already collapsed on the desk was because the writing was now printed across the pages. Even though the writing was splashed across it, I could still copy things down from the blackboard, and when I timidly pressed a finger to the letters, it came away clean. So it wasn't as though the blood would get all over my face if I laid my head down, but I wasn't exactly eager to do it. So I just covered my face to avoid looking at anything. Yuna, are you okay? Ah, Anno, yeah, I'm okay, I'm fine. And I was fine, I'd gotten used to it. I'd been surprised again when the writing had also appeared in my notebook, but I had gotten used to that too, although it was still creepy. After 2 periods, I was almost able to laugh at it. I'd found myself able to write "buzz off" in my notebook in response. Am I actually pretty bold? Want to head straight home now that school's over? It seems like it would be the best for today. I wanted nothing more than that, really, but they've been summoning me continuously for hours. If I just ignored them and went home, who knows what would happen to me? They said they would curse me, although I wasn't sure exactly what that meant. Sorry, I have something to do today. Really? You sure you don't want to head home and rest? I thought I might have been a little... Oh, excuse me. I thought I might have been a little sick during lunch, but it turns out it was nothing. I'm okay, really, thank you. Sure you're sure? If you say so then. Anna knows I don't like people hanging around me too much at school, and yet she was still that concerned for me. I felt bad for worrying her so much about something she couldn't see. Hurry up and come back when homeroom ends, okay? If you go home, I'll curse you. The message was written clearly on the pages of my notebook. Yes, yes, I understand. Well, that's all the time I have for today. It was a pain in the ass trying to get this to record, so hopefully it's turned out okay. Fingers crossed. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye!